to start from scratch, create a new organization, create some content types, create instances of those content types, and then I'm going to show you how you can retrieve them from the API and build an interface to kind of list them and get started with your app. So I'm going to create a new organization called the Car Hub, and going to go to the dashboard. And the first thing we're going to do is click Configuration Content Types, create a new content type, and we're going to extend an article. It's basically the most basic kind of object already in the system. I'm going to call this a car and hit save. And now that we have a car, I'm going to tap the three dots next to this content type. I'm going to configure the car, and we're going to add a few more details to it. So to start with, I'm going to click the field editor. I'm going to add a field. I'm going to call this the model, and this, I'm going to call this the makes first. And then the input type, I'm going to change to a select dropdown. I'm going to add the options Ford, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Toyota, and Mazda, if I could spell that. And I'm going to change the minimum answers to 1, the maximum answers to 1, which means that when someone creates a car, they're going to have to select one of these options. Making it a minimum of 1 basically makes the field required. I'm going to click Add Field. I'm going to call this Model. This is just going to be free-form text. And I'm going to add another field. It's going to be Fuel Type. Now this, I'm going to do a select drop-down. Actually, just to be different, let's make it a button input. And we'll add the options. We can have unleaded, diesel, electric, hybrid, I guess. There's quite a few different options now, isn't there? Gas. And we can make the default answer unleaded. And if we reset, we should see that unleaded will be pre-selected. And let's add another group over here. We'll call this a variant. I'm going to make this as an object, and we're going to change the maximum answers to 0, which means we don't have to add a variant, and we also can add as many variants as we like. And inside this variant group, I'm going to add a field. I'm going to call this title, and I'm going to add a new field and call it a description. I don't know what I'll write in there, but sounds good. And you can see over here in our preview window, if I add variants, each variant that I create will have a title and a description. So one of the other things you might want to do is turn on some of these other options where we can click our variant, make it so they're reorderable, maybe collapsible as well, so that if we create lots of variants, we can do this. And we can show a label at the top called variants, just to make it a bit easier for our users when they go to create these things. Now that's looking pretty good. I'm going to click Advanced over here, and I'm going to change the title behavior to generate, to hide the title field so that I don't have to give a title, and we're going to use a snippet to say data.make and data.model. We're going to hit save here, and now that we've configured our content type, if I tap these three dots and go view all cars, if we create a new car, it'll ask us to create what the make is and the model. So we can write a Toyota Corolla, and the variant could be like sports, and I don't even really know what they're called. Let's call it rally, something like that. Hit save, create a new car. We'll call this the Toyota Land Cruiser. We can make that a diesel. We can have a GX, a GXL, a Sahara, and we'll hit save. Create another car. We'll call this a Mazda CX-5, and we'll hit save. Create another one, a Mazda CX-7, a Mazda CX-9, and we'll create a new car. We'll change this to a Mitsubishi. We'll say a Triton. That could be diesel. Another car. This could be a Nissan Pathfinder, that can be unleaded. Another car, a Nissan Leaf, I think they are electric. And another car, we'll do a what else we got there? A Ford Ranger, could be diesel. And what's another Ford? A Ford F-150, which I think is unleaded. And maybe I think they've got a electric one. We'll call it an F-150 Lightning, and that can be an electric, something like that. Okay. So now we've got a bunch of cars. You'll see that the title's been generated as I expected, and if I tap these